Hello, everyone. This is Matt from DrawingTutorialsOnline.com. How you all doing out there? Welcome to another live stream. In this live stream, what we're going to be doing is just doing a portrait drawing draw along, and we've got sound. Okay. Oh, I hate that ad. Okay. Who's the fool who makes ads go? Let's skip that. Um, Totally. Alrighty. So with that being said, my goodness gracious, how you all doing? I had my pre-college class last week. I had a 9 to 12 class with 20 students and a 1 to 4 class with 20 students. And it was great. Lots of talented students in the room for sure from all over. It was pretty cool. All over the world visiting the School of Visual Arts, the animation program. A great program. Hopefully, some of these students will get accepted. I don't see why they won't. They were really, really super duper talented. I did so much drawing. It was all quick gesture drawing. So doing this portrait is going to be a shock to the system today. Yes. Hello, Angelia. I have the. Oh, you got the photo reference. Okay, great. Yeah, I put the photo reference in your coaching folder like less than a half an hour after our call. I'm sorry about that. Hi, Stacy. Welcome to the live stream. Appreciate you joining us here today. The reference for this is within the members area if you want to get your own piece of reference. Okay. So with that being said, what I would like to do here, this is my warm-up sheet of paper. I don't want to bore you all to death. Yes, let's get started with this. And just a reminder that for July and August, I'll be doing the live streams on Wednesday. And once September rolls around, most likely the second week in September, I'm starting the college, teaching at the college late. I'll be doing these live streams on Monday. Hi, Helen. Welcome to the live stream. And Marshall, welcome. Yes, good afternoon for you. Is this the Marshall I think it is? Okay, we're going to go green warm up here. Okay, let's see here. So let's switch cameras. And I appreciate you all joining me here today. Okay, so let's just go to our photo reference, and we're going to warm up here momentarily. So this is our photo reference, and I always buy my photo packs. Hello, Carmela. Welcome. You're getting better and better. Everyone's getting so much better and better on the website. So I've just stopped photographing models. For me, it used to be easy for me. I had access to my classroom after school on Fridays. I would photograph the models there. And then it just started to become a little bit of a burden. And there's so many good people out there. And the one company that I really recommend is I have no affiliation with them in terms of a kickback, but I do think that their photos are really worth purchasing. So it's graphitstudio.gumroad.com. I think it's graphit.studio.gumroad.com. I think they're awesome. Their photo reference is really awesome. And so this photo reference of this particular model is from a figure drawn photo pack. So I just cropped the figure and I zoomed in a little bit to this. All right, let's do this, people. So do I have my scrap piece of paper on here? Yes, I do. So we're going to start warming up. And so I'm using my green Color-Ace pencil. Why green? Because they actually sell them at the art supply store individually. And I like this pencil for just drawing in the classroom, gesture drawing. Now, this is the back of a scrap piece of paper, so it has no tooth to it. And so this pencil isn't really grabbing onto it, but for a warm-up, that's okay. Now, all right, I'm honestly, this is the most important warm-up that you can do. Now, after you do these stacked ovals with one line, I did not lift my pencil off of the paper once. Then I'm going to do ellipses around the ovals, and I'm not lifting my pencil off of the paper. I'm trying to keep my pencil on the paper, and I'm going to do vertical ellipses. The vertical was a little weird. So now, I just lifted off. So right now I'm doing these ellipses. ellipses are just a wonderful way for you to get loose, stay loose, practice continuous line. So that's really cool. Let's just do like a couple lines of action. So a long S curve, long S curve. Maybe I'll just throw in a quick torso peanut shape for sure. Just being a little bit more flowy with it, and maybe we'll just do a back view with a leg. So just put some ellipses around that leg, make it look cylindrical. Maybe a vertical ellipse line to indicate the center line. So very, very, very good way to warm up like that, okay? And the other thing that we can do for our warm up is just match a couple of shapes. So I'm going to do the shape thing, okay? And then right next to it, I'm going to try to draw the same identical shape. And very good. Very good. Well, I'll tell you if it's very good in a second, and you'll be able to see. So not quite, but it's good practice. Let's just do one more. I'm going to do like this funky letter L shape. So yes, yes, and comes down a little bit further, and it goes up like that. So that one I crashed and burned. Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome. Good afternoon from Holland. Awesome. It's going to be a good live stream. Now, I'm going into this like completely cold turkey. So we'll see what happens. Well, that's my warm-up, okay? Now, let me move the green away from my pencil so I don't mix the green with the black when I draw with the black. And let me just kind of remove, let's see, this is pretty good. Let me just like remove my sheet of paper here and get my good sheet of paper. Awesome. Always make sure you have the front of the paper because that's the correct tooth. And always make sure that your paper is level and plumb on your drawing board so it's not crooked. Because then, you know, you're drawing crookedly on the paper. And then, you know, it's so important when you're trying to draw a model like this that has a tilt to their head to make sure the paper is kind of somewhat level and plumb. All right. With that being said, let me grab a pencil here, and it's sharp enough. It's kind of a hazy day here on Eastern Long Island. I got a nice cast shadow going across my board here. Oh, it's from my microphone. Well, that kind of sucks. It's the time of the year where I'm getting a lot of light in from my windows. Okay, enough of me talking. We need to get to drawing. So this model. Let me just mark my top of my video. I kind of zoomed out a little bit too much. That's the bottom. That's my left. I will most likely zoom in as I progress, people. So just hang in there. Let me just get to drawing. So the first thing, when I look at this model and I analyze, I'm not going to draw the extraneous strands of hair that go outside of the model's head. I'm just going to stick, I'm going to start, I don't know. My habit is to start on the left of our model. And so I'm going to go like around, let's see, where am I? Good. I'm going to go around the top. And usually I really harp to my students. The head is not round. It's not a circle. But this is very circular, for sure, right here. And then I go to like, it gets a little bit more flat on the top. And then I'm going to go to that little bump. And then I'm still curving around over here. I'm being very round. And so then I'm going to kick out this strand, this clump of hair, I'm going to say, on the right side of the forehead. And then, yes, I will draw this strand because that's a character trait of the model. So, all right, cool. So now I'm glancing at the top height here, all right? And now, listen, if you know anyone who can, hey, Paul, welcome. If you know anyone who would want to watch this, let them know, because if I don't get like good viewers in the beginning, like I did a live stream, they were identical. I did one like 3 weeks ago. It got over 6,000 views. Why? Because in the beginning of the live stream, I had a lot of viewers, so YouTube pushed it. The same live stream, a week later, I got like 1,000 views. Same live stream. Just I think it didn't grab because there was not enough viewers. So if you know anyone who's into drawing, hey, shoot them a quick email. I sent email out yesterday stating that I would do this. And if you're not notified, um, click on the bell notifications and YouTube will let you know when we go live. So now, all right, I see. That's the head. I need to zoom in so you can actually see. Okie dokie. So now, I don't want to get too into the weeds over here, but what is crucial is that you get the part of the model's hair early on. So now I don't want to go there with the part, but the part is a significant part of drawing a portrait because that sometimes, not necessarily on this model, but sometimes could be the center line. So the models it's that time of the year. I got way too much light. I'm going to just close this blind. Oh, so much better. Oh my God. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw through. I'm going to go down to the ear. I was going to draw through it. If that is that strand of hair, oh boy, right across from that strand of hair is the model's earlobe. And then I'm cruising down with this long neck. Okay. Now, in the beginning here, people of YouTube land, I am not pressing down hard on my pencil. If it's a gesture, like that's all I was saying all week to my students. I was begging them. I'm like, press down hard on your pencil, press down hard on your pencil, because they were drawing so light like this in a gesture style class, which is no bueno. Like in gesture drawing, like you just got to you build confidence through pressing down hard on your pencil while doing these 2-minute gesture poses. And it's a different approach than what I'm doing here with this longer drawing. That, usually my portrait drawings are about like 4 to 5 hours tops. Like it's 2 hours on the stream. And then for today, I'll work on it a little bit, maybe like 2 more hours. So for a 2-hour drawing, I'm going to basically just be I'm going a little bit lighter in the beginning. So now I don't want to be too timid and be afraid to start the face because I don't want to make a mistake. So you just got to start, people. You just got to start. So I'm going to do the forehead first. So now I'm switching from these curves to a couple of angles. So again, I'm sorry, I'm going really light here in the beginning, but I will progress, hopefully fast. And so now the model's brow area, and then indenting with the eye socket area. And now this brow area is to the right of the cheekbone, which is called your zygomatic arch. Now immediately I look from here to here, and it feels a little not as wide as I would like, but before I'm going to kick this out. Okay, this comes down. I got to get like my shoulders square to the photo reference because when you turn your head, weird stuff happens. So this angle shift is in the middle of the ear. Yeah, so now I'm going to come down, and now I'm going to do this kind of straighter angle to our model's chin. So we look at the earlobe. I'm not saying I got the earlobe perfect, but I'm saying I'm looking at the earlobe. I might give myself like a little target there for the chin, and when I do that, her face feels very thin. So I don't want to overjudge. I want to keep putting marks down on the paper. So I'm going to now just go for the jawbone. Now this model, excuse me, is extremely thin with their jawbone. Like I can literally see like their jawbone right there, and not a lot of soft tissue. So it's a little bit more angular is basically what I'm trying to say, not too round. So it comes down. So that's our vertical angle for the jaw. And now we have our tilted angle for the jaw, and then our angle for the chin. So the jaw consists of 3 angles. vertical tilted chin. Okay, so the chin is round, but I'm just doing it as like an angular shape right now. Now, let me just, I want to immediately, I was working with, what a mistake yesterday. I worked with 3B graphite. It was a horror show, but afterwards I looked at the drawing. It wasn't bad. Could have been worse. So, but this is so much better for me, this pencil paper combination. So I'm using Strathmore 400 series paper. Nothing too fancy. It's just basic paper you can buy at just about any art supply store. So that's my map out of the face. Feels a little long to me, but let me not overjudge. So that's like my first go through. So I want to just get that trapezius in. It's slightly above the bottom of the chin. I think it's imperative that you draw shoulders. Now, can we connect anything? Can I connect the shoulder with the face here? Can I connect that shoulder to that shoulder? Not really. It's a little bit more angular and triangular. Okay, so now for character, I'm going to get this loose strand of hair over here. And and also for this, I hate saying the word algorithm, but it's a thing. It's a thing. Definitely early on in the drawing for me, if you could like the video, wow, that would be so cool. Because then maybe it'll get pushed just a little bit more. So I've got this strand of hair here. Good. And now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to just put in a shape. So I'm going to start here at the model's temple side of the forehead. This eyebrow is extremely close to our model's hair. I'm not drawing the eyebrow. I'm drawing the line that separates the light from the shadow. And now I'm coming in around the zygomatic bone, which is your cheekbone. And I'm going to come down over here, and it's gesturing. I'm trying to draw the side plane of this model's face. And then I'm going into the pointiness of the jaw. Okay. And, okay, good. Now, I still don't know where I want to place the chin. Okay. That's a thing, because that's going to tell me, like, this angle, from here to here. Ugh. Okay, I'm just a little unsure. But so if you're unsure, how do you just, keep going. So let's do I'm not going to go too crazy with the shading yet. I'm not matching the value. I am just going to just put some tone in over here, because I'm a big believer in drawing with shapes. Okay, so I'm putting the side plane shadow shape. It's gorgeous lighting. Great photos from graphitstudio.gumroad.com for sure. Again, I've got no affiliation with them. I'm just a big fan of their photos. They're pretty affordable. Considering what I used to pay to hire a model for like an hour, they're pretty affordable for sure. And you got a wide variety of models over there too. So now listen to me, people. The ear. Get rid of that white paper. Okay, cool. So that is my first go through with a little bit of tone. Now I'm dreading, I am dreading shading the darkness of this model's hair, because it's pretty big. Now hold on now. People like when I tell them how big my drawing is. So my drawing, I should get rid of this keyboard tray thing. Hold on. My keyboard tray thing is, believe it or not, a gessoed board. It's this rigid thing, and it sticks under my Cintiq screen. And yeah, with the ergo stand. I'm using an older Cintiq. Thanks to Shane, who helped me tweak, because the new Apple download wouldn't let me. All right, so sorry, I'm in the weeds here. 4 and 5/8 to the chin. Now I'm gonna be a son of a gun, and I'm gonna measure. Not marry. I'm married, so I don't need to marry. So let's see. Holy poop. 4 and an eighth. 4 and 5/8. 4 and 5/8. 4 and 5/8 is from head to toe. Sorry for the fingerprints on the iPad. So now I'm going to look, I just did this sight size. That's good enough for me. So that's the bottom of the chin to the top of the head. I'm very cool with that. I just impressed myself, but there's not much to be impressed here about. So 3.5. I want to do this for me. I'll take that all day long. So I'm a little bit wider than 3.5 by a 1/16 of an inch. All day long, I will take that. Now, I'm doing that just because, let's just talk about different methods of drawing. So when I'm here in my studio, I love drawing sight size. It just works for me, right? It just works for me. It's my process that I like to do here in the studio. I think it's awesome practice, too, for you to do sight size. Why is the top of the YouTube video? Now I need the mouse. Hold on. I think because I've got this window. Why is the top of my YouTube drawing cropped? What up with that? Okay. Weird. Maybe I'll zoom out just a touch because I want you to see the whole thing. And the top of the model's head is cropped. Okay. Cool. All right. So getting back to my little analogy story. In the classroom, I also have so I'm going to move this over slightly. So in the classroom, I also have a process. So my drawing pad is about 18 inches tall. And so my figure drawings are usually 14 to 16 inches tall, depending on my mood. If I'm like trying to really be gestural and try to get the students to loosen up, I can't even see the model strands of their hair. It's so dark. I will draw in a bigger 16-inch sort of way, so I will really draw with my arm. That is not sight size. So in that scenario, let me get a piece of paper here so the heat of my hand does not make the paper buckle. I am not doing sight size in the classroom. I am doing my process of I like to fit on an 18-inch tall piece of paper, a 16 to 14-inch. And my sweet spot is about 15 inches for a full body gesture drawing, figure drawing style. So those are my two processes for drawing. So sight size in my studio and in the classroom, I'm trying to draw. See, I'm moving my hands here. In the classroom, when I'm doing gesture drawing with a model, I'm drawing more with my arm. And I was trying to show that to the students. Now, these are really young students, roughly. They're in class right now, I think, because it's a 3-week program at the School of Visual Arts and Animation. So they're in class, and they're with their animation teacher, I do believe. And so they did a good job. 11th grade, some 10th graders going into 11th, and drawing the nude for the first time. Like, I was impressed. Like, they did great. And to take time out of their summer vacay to take more school, because it's not no work. Like, it's work. Like, they're making films. They're going to make a final film. Like, they're doing walk cycle little film things. And for me, I gave them homework for sure. And then they're working in the class, and it's a lot of work. So pretty type A personality people at such a young age. So I was impressed for sure. One class was so loud. I haven't yelled in a very long time. The only person I yell at is my dog. One day they were so loud. They were singing in the classroom during the break, and I'm like, what the heck? I didn't say what the heck, but I said that to myself. Um, so I'm like, you gotta chill, people. There's another class going on right next door. It was actually pretty funny. Like they were really having a good time. But yeah, it was loud. It was loud. Don't tell anyone, for sure. Okay, so now, all right, back to drawing. Let me go over this ad. I shouldn't have moved my trackpad, but this is more comfortable. Let me skip the ad. Okay, sweet. So this is my first kind of go through with our model. Okay, and it should look like the model already. And I think it does. I think it does. It should resemble the shape of the model's head. It should start to look like our model's face. And I know I've told this story like a gazillion times, but you know, I do this exercise when the students start to get bored with class in the spring semester, where I have them draw their classmates and just their hair, and it looks just like their classmates. Like we know exactly who they just drew, because shape of hair, shape of face is it's a thing in portrait drawing for sure. You know, I live on Eastern Long Island, and we've got like a lot of ticks, and so I'm not into like chemicals and all that. So I hired this organic tick sprayer. They come in, it's got all these weird oils like cedar oil and all this stuff that's like organic. And I'm actually smelling it right now. It's outside. They must have sprayed like the bushes right in front of my window. I just had a nice inhale of peppermint and cedar wood oil. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm procrastinating. We need to get to the features of the face. However, everybody, this is mucho importante, because this is what you should do first, in my opinion. There's 14 million different portrait artists on YouTube, so you know you have to go with what works best for you. So now let's just go for it. And I'm going to say angle, angle. Now when I'm doing this eyebrow first, I look at the distance from the eyebrow to the hair. Not bad. Okay. And then I'm looking at the thickness of the eyebrow. And then I'm not pressing down hard. Do not like don't go in for the kill, people. Don't go in with like your darkest dark. Just be a little bit lighter pressure right now. And this eyebrow is higher than that eyebrow. That's another thing, because there's a tilt to our model's head. Okay. There's a tilt. So when there's a tilt, that means you should hold your pencil like level on the photo reference. And I did that before I started. I glanced at this and I'm like, okay, what is across from this eyelid? It's the bottom of that eyebrow. So that's the most pre-gaming that I did with the portrait. So I've got this eyebrow, and this is a thick eyebrow on this model. So we want to make sure that we go a little thicker. Again, I'm pressing down very lightly. So now, before I even get to the eyes, I want to get this shadow on the side of the nasal bone. It's basically the starting of the inside of the eye socket on the skull. So I'm looking at this shadow and the distance to over here. That's going to be huge. Not huge distance, but huge if I screw it up. It's going to screw up my whole drawing. So now I'm just going to come over here with light side plane. A light cast shadow. I am not going dark here. If I had to tell you like one thing that people struggle with when they draw portraits, is right here. They make this sucker so dark. Like, do not make that side of the nose lobe dark. So I'm just trying to this model has a fairly short nose. I'm just trying to put some shape there. I'm not drawing nostrils yet. I'm just looking back and forth, looking back and forth. There's a tilt. Now, when I'm doing this tilt, I'm second guessing myself because I'm looking at the bottom of the chin. I know from here to here is correct because we did that measurement. So before I commit, this pencil is black, right? I keep seeing green. Before we commit, I'm going to do the shape of our model's lips. So distance from the nose to the lips is a little greater than what I have. So let me lower that. And I'm just suggesting the corner of the lip. Now, listen, everybody on YouTube, I need to get the tilt of the bottom of the nose, and the tilt of the lips. How we all doing out there? We okay? Let's see, how many people we got watching this live stream? 24. I thank you for joining me. Okay, so now I've got the tilt of the lips, and now let's just draw the little shadow shape under the lower lip, and then I'm looking at the height of the chin, which is very short because our model's chin is tucked a little bit looking down. Good. So I'm going to just place, oh God, I got such a shaky forearm. I'm just going to place, yes, with line, a little suggestion of the lip. A little suggestion of that upper lip. Now, look at the corner of the lips. They are a little far away from the side of the face. Okay, they're not touching the side of the face. Okay, now we're going to get to these eyes. And this is just our blocking in period of this. I tend to be, I seem like I'm a little timid here today for whatever reason. You know, probably because I really like the last two live stream drawings that I did. I thought they were my best drawings of the year. And so I'm putting pressure on myself to make this one better, if not comparable. And when you do that, you stop just relaxing and you think too much, and then your ego gets involved, and before you know it, you're like, oh my God, I suck, this sucks. So just, you know, I just got to relax here and just draw. Okay, center of the lips. So now, what did I say? I said that if this is the bottom of the eyebrow, if I go straight across, that's going to be the top of this model's eyelid. So I'm just drawing a shape. I really, really super duper like to draw the outside lash first and into this half circle for the iris. Shade that. That's how I'm going to start to place that eye. I didn't touch the lower eyelid yet. So now I'm going to go across and gesture. This model's eye is a little bit more open. So I'm going to that lash first. Yes, the lash first. And then this eye is also not wide at all. Look at the distance between the lash and the brow. And I'm just going to go for it and place this 3/4 of a circle. I'm looking at the white of the eye. Just putting a little tone there. Okay. So a little timid, for sure, not strong with my confidence. I'm just going to get a little drink of water. So now I'm going to start all over again. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. I'm not thrilled with this section because I haven't spent any time with it. The ear is more of a frontal style view, so it's not that wide. And from the earlobe originates that jawbone. So I'm cool with that. Don't go very dark with this line. I'm just going to go dark over here. Okay, so this chin, and then it's not a straight line. This mouth muscle protrudes out. And then let's go to the cheekbone, which I believe is higher, into the eye socket area. And then we've got a cast shadow. The hair is cast in on the forehead. Okay, better. This is such a character thing on this particular model. So you've got to get this part of her hair. And that flows right in. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to come over here now. I want to just try to go a little darker with the hair because that's it's going to do two things for me. Number one, it's going to make me press down harder on the pencil, which is something that I'm not doing that I really need to do. And because I'm a little bit too shy with my pencil strokes today, I need to press down harder, be more confident with the line and the tone. So darker here. This is like pitch black. You know, I'm not going to really go pitch black with this right away because then what's going to wind up happening is I'm going to start to dent the paper, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to use the brush after I go through the face again to just push this pencil into the tooth of the paper and get rid of all these like little white dots. Any questions on YouTube? Okay, I'm just shading longer with my pencil stroke, not short. I cannot see the strands of the hair right now, so I'm just blocking in flat. I think, hold on. No, that's very, very dark. I can't see anything there. Okay, so around, around, around. This is still very dark, dark. And curving around the cylinder of the hair. Make sure you leave the part. Just resharpened, and this, you got to get these strands of hair curving around like that. Okay. Good enough for now. Now I want to put another darker value in for the shadow. So I'm going around the face. This is that dark halftone area. So you look at the width from here to here. It's not that wide. Don't go so dark with that, but it needs to be darker on my sheet of paper. And then there's a reflected light on the cheekbone. And I'm going to go over the ear, and you should do the same thing without adding details to the ear just yet. I'm going over the hair, and now I'm going to go and draw the neck. I'm going straight up and down. Okay, cool. It's pretty dark over here as well. I can add form lines later because I am going to kind of blend this. And that needs to be higher. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to just work on the eyes and the eyebrows a little bit more before I start to draw with the brush or blend with the brush. I'm still not going too crazy with it all. But let me start to draw these eyes. Now, normally I do not draw anything on the lower eyelid, but I'm changing a little bit. I'm starting to draw more information on the lower eyelids. It's just, you got to be careful. You can really make the model look older and tired if you overdo the lower eyelids. I am outlining the upper eyelid shadow into the tear duct. And so you got to look at the tear duct to that, and this is lower than that because of the head tilt. So now let's get the eyelid line separation. It is not round. There's angles there. And I'm also looking at the distance from here to here. So either this needs to be wider or this needs to come over more to the right. And I think it needs to come over more to the right to make that eye bigger, because it's a big eye. Notice I am not pressing down hard. So this isn't about me being timid with my ego and all that. This is just about me playing it safe. This is the technique that I like to use when I do these like 4-hour portraits, because I'm trying to start lightly in case I have to do some drastic alterations I could erase out. And now underneath the eyebrow, there's no white paper there. It's the highlight is really on the cheekbone. That's pretty light. I would say on our model's face, forehead, cheekbone, those are the lightest lights. And the highlights in the eyes are technically the lightest lights. So I'm just, there's no white under the eyebrow. That's eye socket. So you got to kind of tone that down. And just ask yourself the question, what is whiter, the skin above the eye or the white of the eye? Okay. So now I'm just going to go around with some form lines. And now I'm just going to kind of go for the other eye. Just cute the way there's like a little cute look to the eye, like inquisitive. And so I'm just going to eyelid angle, look at the distance between the eyelid line and the eyebrow. So this eyebrow just needs to be bigger. And the lashes are very full, so I need to take that into account. And I'm looking at all of this distance. And there's a lot of makeup on that lower eyelid, so damn, that I got to do that a little bit for likeness purposes. So right now, when I just glanced at my video, 1 second. Her eyes are a little bit too far apart. It looks good when I look at it in real life, but when I look at it on sometimes I look at the video and I'm convinced that YouTube is making my video shorter and wider. Shorter in height and wider in width. I don't know if this is like a new thing, but yeah, because it looks, it's definitely different on YouTube. And so I want to just experiment with making my Chrome window bigger, because I do make it smaller. Hold on now. Okay, that's fine. Good. Now, I do think the eyes are too far apart subtly. So let me do the tear duct. And merge the tear duct shape into the eye shape. This eye is pretty big. Oh, I see this. Yeah, I got to be careful here. I think this eye just needs to be bigger. down into our model's tear duct area. Now on my drawing, I like that. On YouTube, it looks wider, and I don't know what's the dealio with YouTube today. Because it's usually a pretty good representation. I'm not making up for bad skills. I'm telling you, like for me right now, it looks good. And the proof will be in the pudding after the live stream when I upload the drawing later today on my Instagram page as well as on the posts here on YouTube. Okay, now our model's eyes are really dark. Good. So first go through, I just need to do a little bit more with our model's nose. Remember, don't go too dark with that. That's big for me. I went pretty dark with that. I usually don't go there at all. So nostril. So that this is aesthetics and what you like and what works for you. So look at from the face to this part of the nose. Good. Ball at the tip of the nose. Does this need to be longer? It needs to be bigger. And I need to show the ball at the tip of our model's nose. Definitely needs to be bigger, the nose. Okay, so good. And for now, corner of the lips, I'm going to raise them and just make the lips a little bit bigger. Now, the corner of the lip is right below that part of the eye. So holy moly, I'm a little off there. So 1 second. Oh. So let's just bring the corner of the lips out a touch. Maybe that's what's not working. Okay. How we all doing out there on YouTube? Everyone's very quiet today. Everyone's very pensive. And the other thing with teaching at SVA last week, my morning class, it was like you were in a library at Harvard. It was like so quiet. I don't know. Maybe the library at Harvard's like a zoo now. But it was so quiet, my classroom. And then soon as my afternoon students walked in the door, it was like a hurricane. Complete different personality of class. It's just really interesting. Classes have personalities, for sure. And, you know, not to make a big deal about it, but it was also the afternoon. And so it wasn't first thing in the morning. Okay, time for the brush. So I have graphite on this brush from my class yesterday. All good, drawing along. Okay, thanks, Paul. I am just brushing the graphite off. And this is a big brush, so I'm going to just kind of go for it. I lost my, I don't know what I did with my intermediate. Hold on. Intermediate. Here we go. It was right there. I am organized. So let's take this brush. So I'm gently pushing the pencil into the nooks and crannies of the tooth of the paper. Now I have probably 6 or 7 drawings that I never finished that I did on YouTube live streams, like earlier this year, last fall, and also this year. And I've discovered that through doing these live streams, I like using the brush versus not using the brush. And I actually want to have like a live stream where I finish the drawings that I started Because some of them, during the fall and the spring semester, there's no time. And I was doing them on Tuesdays, and I just have to do my Zoom class on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. There was no time for me to finish them. I'm actually thinking about doing some. Hey, Rick. Thank you, Stacy. I'm actually thinking about having a live stream where I finish some of these drawings, because I'm always starting and I'm never finishing on YouTube. Finishing them with the brush. Just pushing the pencil into the tooth of the paper. All of the hills and peaks and valleys. And this also is a time saver with this pencil, because this pencil is tough to do tone fast. This cheekbone is not as light as the other cheekbone, so let's tone that down. So this is kind of just like painting. So if you like to paint, but you don't have time to paint, this has a painting vibe to it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a smaller brush. So these are very, very cheap, inexpensive Bristol brushes for like a canvas situation. And I think they're great for this. And so now the smaller brush that's shorter, this is the one that you use to really push. I don't have enough pencil on the paper yet, but I'm just pushing much, much more aggressively. And nice. Okay. It's a lot of residual pencil on the brush. So you can draw with the brush, which is very cool. And let's see. Upper lip is darker than the lower lip, but the lower lip is not as dark, not as light as the skin tone. So I need to be mindful of that. Still so much to do on this portrait, but I like to do this ghost-like impression. Okay. Time, let's see, what time is it? Wow, we've been doing this for almost an hour already. I feel like I'm in like slow motion. Okay. Something is off. Haven't quite figured it out yet. But we'll, as Michael Corleone once said, we get there, Pop. Okay, and those of you who watched The Godfather probably know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's see, which pencil do I like better? Because again, with the Colares, this one's better. The older they get, the harder they get. Ooh, this one feels like it's gonna break. Okay. So I want, again, I cannot tell you how important character is to your drawings. And, you know, everybody's portrait, for me, this is just me. I think this way. A big part of likeness is just getting the model's shape of their hair. And if I could get the shape of their hair, I'm going to get, that's half of the likeness. Yeah, you can get the hair and then you stink at drawing the eyes, and that's going to screw you up for sure. But I'm telling you, like, shape of hair, it's a thing. You got to just really take the time to really shade. And get that. So now I'm coming down this edge, and I need to make, the hair is just going to take forever. So I probably will work on that hair a little bit more off screen. Um, let's get to the meat and potatoes of the portrait. Let's just get to this portrait, the eyes. Um, so I want to just do my connection. 1 second. So I'm a big believer in drawing these outside eyelashes. So when I say outside eyelashes, I mean from the pupil to the outside of the eye, not the pupil to the tear duct. So it's the outside. That's where the bulk of the eyelash hairs are. And that's where the bulk of the darkness is with the eyelashes. So I'm a big believer in doing that first. And then I'm a big believer in trying to connect the two. So we come over here and I try to connect to the other side, which is lower. And this eye is very vibrant. It's very open. And I want to get the lid before I get those lashes kicking out from the lid. So people go for the, hey, this is a good pun. People go for the eye candy first. The eye candy is the eyelashes. People like just gravitate to drawing eyelashes, but before you draw those eyelashes, you've got to get the eyelid part of the lash. Yes. Look at the white of the eye. Now, when we do our, hold on. When we do the warm up, yes, we draw these loose things. Yes, we do the line of action, but we do tight things. This is how I'm thinking about drawing the white of the eye. So when I'm trying to draw the white of the eye, I'm doing the same thing. I am trying my very best, and I know you're doing this at home too. I'm trying my very best to just draw that exact shape of the white of the eye. That's why I do that cheesy exercise, because it's so helpful. Um, it's not a waste of time. It's actually really helpful. Okay, I'm looking at the white of the eye, and I have it too big. So I don't know if this eye needs to be pushed over to the right, the iris, or the edge of the lid needs to be pushed to the left. I'm not overthinking it. I'm definitely trying to get the likeness. And so now I'm just going to block that in darker. And then I'm going to do the pupil. I don't have the highlight. We'll do that after with the mono zero. It feels a little too big for me, but let's keep going. So don't necessarily draw the line here. Draw a value and then a line here for the lid. And then it goes around. It doesn't look like it fits right now because everything on the drawing is, this is like the awkward, ugly duckling stage of my portrait drawing. So most of the drawing is soft and atmospheric and blurry. And now I'm beginning the process of pressing down harder and making things sharper. So it looks like her eye is weird. It's like floating almost. So you just got to power through, even though this is like the awkward stage. And I am going to kick out a couple of these lashes because they're part of the width of the eye. So if I didn't do that, like that wouldn't be a good thing. And so now down over here, now I tend to draw more atmospheric lately, not sharp with portraits. And yeah, okay. And then inside of the nose. And tear duct. So that's all I should do with that eye. Because if I work on that eye more now, it's going to start to look weird. I need to balance it with the other eye. And I used to do that like when I was a book cover painter for those 18 years. A big part of how I kind of figured out how to draw and paint portraits was balancing. So, like balancing the eyes. Like over here, this dark, which is not final, but getting there, needs to be balanced on this side with this dark and this eye. And these angles of the circle, yes, it's a kind of a 3/4 circle, almost 5/8 of a circle height. Um, but there's angles to the eye also. This is going to take me forever. Oh my God, I am so slow today. What is going on? Um, cast shadow goes up like that. I normally don't go there with that type of darkness. Let me resharpen. Oh my God, I'm going so slow. I'm sorry, but yeah. Uh, coming down. Tear duct and eyelid. And balancing. So let's leave that. I need to add obviously more to it. And let's go up to the eyebrow. So this morning, you know, I love animals for sure, and I started feeding the birds in the wintertime, right? And so I'm like, okay, let me just. I like to feed the birds, and now the rabbits and there's a baby bunny rabbit in my backyard, and you know you have your resident annoying squirrel, and so I put some bird seed out there, and believe it or not, like the rabbit eats the corn. It's actually kind of fun to watch, and the rabbits let me get within like 6 feet of them. It's like crazy. The baby, I was like within 5 feet of it, because it knows when I put the seed out. So make a long story short, I go out there this morning. It rained yesterday, and like I go out to my lawn shed where I keep like the lawnmower and all that stuff. And I go out, and there's a ramp, a wooden ramp. It's getting old now that goes to the shed. It's wet. I step on it. I slip. I tweak my ankle, tweak my left knee. I'm like, getting old sucks. Like when I was younger, it would have been fine. But man, oh man, I'm like, God, I'm trying to freaking do the right thing here, and I slip and I tweak my ankle. Are you kidding me? So yeah, that was my morning. It was wonderful. It was great. And then I put all the seed out, and the flippin' guy comes to spray the organic pest spray for ticks, to get rid of ticks, because ticks are like a serious thing here. Um, Hi, Kim. How are you? Okay. Now, when I look at my drawing on YouTube, the camera doesn't lie. But I'm telling you, YouTube is making this drawing a mere tinish. Welcome. The I wish I can show this to you. Like on YouTube, YouTube is shortening the video height and making my video stretched. This is not working for me, YouTube. You can't do that. You're making her eyes look way too wide. They are slightly wide. They are. I'm not gonna like deny that. So let me move this. but not that wide. Like YouTube is doing some weird compression thing. Um, so I think, let me work on the shape of the face. I have the right height because I measured it. I'm not a fan of having an outline to the jawbone, but I gotta do a little outline over here because this is gonna help me figure out the height. Yeah, for me it's working for me. When I look at my video, it looks like poop, um, width wise. Now, better. Sometimes you just need to press down harder and get some angles. Her neck is much longer. And okay, so that's the chin and that. And darker bottom. I'm going to go really dark here. This is the character of the hair. Okay, I think I should stand up. I am dying for coffee. I am really dying for coffee, but I shouldn't be slurping. Got 2 seagulls to feed each morning. Called them Ben and Jerry. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have been living. That's a good one, Paul. I have been living in my house since 2009. So what is that? Uh, just about it 17 years. Thanksgiving. We moved in the day before Thanksgiving. Um, and I have never ever had like any ants anywhere near my flipping house. Started putting the bird seed out, boom, now there's ants. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So, tread lightly. Feeding animals will screw things up. For sure. For sure. Okay. How we doing, people? I am going slow as molasses today. Every single drawing we did this week was short in the classroom. Five minutes, 2 minutes. The longest drawing we did was 10 minutes. So that's why I feel very slow. And I was talking with our model, Ro, and Ro is one of the best models at the school for sure. Great model. And so Ro works, I don't know the school. It could be the Art Students League in New York City. I've never been there. Could be the New York Academy. I've never been there. I don't know, but they were just telling me stories about the students, which are much older, and the amount of time that they work on one drawing. And I used to spend 8 days on painting a book cover, so I understand. But that would have like multiple people in it. It would be oil paint. It would have background stuff like a landscape or an interior. But to spend like 6 hours per class for like 8 weeks in a row on one drawing, like to me, that's just like a form of meditation. Like this right now for me is like long, and it's going to be like 4 hours. And I really do believe that that's cool to do. I like that style of drawing. I don't want to do that now in my life. I don't have time to do that, but I think it's very good to do the long drawings. But what I think is better is that you combine the long drawings with the short gesture drawings, because if you only work on drawings where you're spending like 40 hours on them, you just get so slow. And if you take a little bit of time and you do a 10-minute sketch, and you I don't like to use the word force, but we're going to use it. you like to force yourself to say, okay, in this 10 minutes, I am going to draw this figure from head to toe. No questions asked. And in this 2-minute gesture drawing, I'm going to scribble in this figure from head to toe as fast as I possibly can. You will get so much faster at seeing with your eyes. It's not about drawing, it's about seeing proportions. And the people who are doing like the 6 hours per day for 8 weeks in a row, or whatever it is, it's something similar. They just take longer to see these shapes and these proportions. That's what it is. So I think, that's like my little preach here today, that I think it's very valuable for you to not only do some long drawings to give yourself some staying power in terms of like focus, but I also do believe that it's very important for you to do fast drawings to get out of your comfort zone. Now, in my Zoom class that I do for members of my website, drawingtutorialsonline.com, the Zoom class, I'm smelling the organic spray again. It's when the AC comes on. Interesting. Okay. So in my Zoom class, we crank out a drawing in an hour. And then we do an hour Q&A where I look at everyone's drawings. And so a lot of people hate that. But then if they stick with me for a while, like a month, 2 months, 6 months, they start to realize like, hey, wow, okay, I've gotten faster. I like 6 months ago, like I couldn't even do this. Now, not only do I draw the portrait in like an hour, but I'm getting the likeness and I'm matching the values. And so there's something to be said for getting yourself out of your comfort zone and actually drawing a portrait a little bit faster than you normally would. And you train your eyes to see faster. Very, very crucial and important. Okay, back to the brush. Actually, didn't I say I had the stand? Should I get coffee now? I'll save coffee for when I'm done. When I'm drawing this afternoon. I really want coffee. Oh my God. Best feeling ever is when you just, you go to the studio and you're drawing and you got that fresh cup of coffee, you're playing your music, you're in no rush. Yeah, good feeling. Now, I don't have the likeness as much as I would like. I don't know if it's in the cheekbones. I don't know. It's just because I don't have enough values down. Her cheekbones have a very round, full vibe. Sorry, I'm getting my head in the video there. Um, yeah. Okay, let's Paul, where you don't need obviously you don't need to give your exact location, but where are you located again? Down into the side plane of the chin here. Because this time for the live stream seems to suit you well. I know, like, I have some people who are members of my website and they join the Zoom class on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. New York time, and it's late for them. Oh, you're in England. Wow. So it's the afternoon going into dinner time there. Yeah, I didn't get the eyes yet. It's afternoon. Okay. There's one of my all-time favorite movies. It's old now. It's getting really old, but um it was called The Last of the Mohicans with Daniel Day Lewis. And I basically based my illustration career off of that movie. After I saw that movie, like I mentally shifted and I said I want to do historical books. And I just love the costumes and all of that. I like the landscape. But in that movie, the English were fighting with the French. And this was 1700s, and I just loved like when the French general, or you know, they won the battle, they took over the fort, and just all of the pronunciation in that movie with these words, I it was just so fun to listen to for sure. um yeah, I have a illustration hanging on my wall that it's kind of same costumes of that era. I think I need to get a little bit with the ear. I'm just putting a little tone here. Not really drawing the ear yet. And I think I also like her eyebrows are thick. I don't have them thick enough. I also need to get the highlight in the eyes. And this tip of hair, character trait. I didn't stand up. I'm into the drawing. It's in this phase where um a couple of more like little strokes of the pencil and I'll have the likeness, but I just don't have it yet. 415. Let's see how many people we got watching. Oh wow, cool. 29. Thank you. Does anybody have any like drawing questions I could help you with? Before I press harder on these eyes, I should sharpen my eraser and pull out the highlight. That's not pulling out like I would want it to. So I'm going to have to use some little white chalk also. So what I should have done is I should have drawn a circle around the highlight and left white paper. Usually this erases out a little bit better. I don't know what's going on. Um, Let me just keep pushing. There we go. I'm going to have to use some white pencil, pastel pencil I like to use. It's a very tiny highlight, believe it or not. But highlights are important for the likeness. Oh God, yeah, the New York accents. When I went down to Florida about like a month ago now, you know, you go to a place wherever you go, a store or a gas station, whatever, and like you start talking and people do like a double take, and yeah, okay. I'm just trying to get this eye. I have the eyelash lid area needs to be so much bigger. there's something I didn't capture. It's driving me nuts. I just need to be patient. Kim. Come on, Kim. That was so nice of you. Thank you so much for that. That was unexpected. Oh my God. I really appreciate you. And Kim, back in the day, I don't know, what was this, Kim, now? 4 years ago, Kim did coaching with me. And we worked on Kim's portraits then. And Kim is a member of my website. And I just did a critique for Kim, and their artwork came out so good. And Kim, you're doing really good. You're doing really good. Let's see what happens when I click on this. Half of Florida is from New York. Yes. Let's celebrate their first super. How do we celebrate their first super? Let's see. I'm just clicking on the three circles. No, it's not doing anything. I really appreciate you, Kim. Thank you so much. That was very kind of you. Kim just did such a phenomenal piece of a Graphite Studio model, the blonde model, who's just a great model for sure. I'm trying to draw like different people on these live streams, and I know students like that. Kim, thank you. I really thank you for that. What questions do you have, Kim? Did you email me your drawing? Speaking of coaching, I did coaching with one woman. This was maybe 10, 12 years ago. More than that. I don't want to age myself. And she just would laugh at the way that I would say the word drawing, because I said it with such an accent. And I probably still do. And she's like, "That's not how you say drawing." And she started laughing. I forgot where she was from. This was actually now probably 12 years ago for sure. Okay, let's get the bottom of this model's eye. Maybe that's what's not working for me. Now, I don't want to get too stuck here either. I'm going to throw up a couple of lashes. And this. And the lower eyelid, I am going to go darker with it because I'm just trying to figure this out. And her eye is so dark. I'm not really seeing like the lightness in the eye. Oh, and then this white of the eye is darker. And then there's a reflection in that eye right there, which is funky. And darker. And darker. Matching the values, very important. The last couple portraits that I thought were my favorite this year did not match the values. This one I'm struggling with a little bit. It's taking me a little bit longer, so I'm gonna match some values, because when you do that, now for those of you who are new to my channel, when I say values, not the ones that you learn in church, but the ones that you learn here. Okay, so these are values, and I call this a dark midtone, a midtone, a light midtone, and a light. So yeah, those are the values that I'm really, really talking about. And sometimes, I'll match the values, and other times I will not match the values. And it's all about that four-letter word called time. It's about the time. And it also could start to become about like your style also. Now, I'm not saying I got the likeness. But today it's a slow go for me. It's a slow go. And this is the longest I've sat down in a very long time, except for on the Long Island Railroad, because the Long Island Railroad is just the worst thing in the on the whole planet. That was the worst part of teaching this past week at the School of Visual Arts was the Long Island Railroad. Tuesday, I go to the train station at train's supposed to leave at 6:34 a.m. and they just canceled the train. And so, needless to say, I don't want to say how long it took me to get to the city because I had to go to a different line. It was just a disaster. Got to the class like 25 minutes late. I haven't been late to the class in like 5 years. Um, so it was just lots of stress. Long Island Railroad, oh my God. And then the Long Island Railroad has new trains, some brand new trains. Some trains that are 20 years old. They're pretty good still. Some trains are 50 years old. And these people still run these 50-year-old trains. And the amount of money that you pay for a ticket. And in these trains, on the windowsill, is mold. And it's just, are you flipping kidding me? So, yeah, that was just not good this week. Okay. I think I need to work on the model's lips. I just am giving you too many stories today. I need to focus on drawing. So this is a surface plane over here. Let's get this surface plane. This needs to angle that a ways. Let's go darker with the model's eyebrow. Kim, thank you. Appreciate that so much. Okay, let's see. Gonna go a little darker here. Let's see what happens. This eye, I think, is still bigger. A little suggestion of the nostril. Oh, I see. Okay, I just hit all the comments because I clicked on this. Okay, wait, hold on, hold on. There's like some chat thing that I need to deal with. I just okay. Can somebody write something in the chat so it goes down one for me? Because right now, if I click on the chat, like it does something weird. I just want to make sure that it's working. Okay, a little bit more. Okay. God. Now all of a sudden I'm seeing all of this. Hey, Wes, I didn't see that chat. It just came through now. Thank you so much. I'm at work, but am here to say hi. It was a good pre-college group. Lots of energy. Like I almost felt like the afternoon class. Some of the students should have just went to like um, drama club because they were singing during the break, like singing with my playlist in class. Well, it was their playlist. I let them make a playlist. You would have loved it. You would have loved it. You are welcome. Thank you all for your help. Thank you, Kim. Okay, the math stories. All right, I don't want to bore you today. I stayed up way too late working on the one I started in class yesterday. It's looking pretty good, learning so much. Awesome. Wes, I gotta go, but have a lovely day, Matt. Okay, I'm gonna try my best. We'll see how my like semi twisted ankle is. Yes, the class was great as usual, but I guess every time we find new things to learn. Hopefully. Hey John Doe, welcome, and Carmela, it's working, Matt. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Paul. Appreciate you. Um, Gosh, I'm just slow, people. You're just gonna have to. I feel like I'm working at a snail's pace. I like the progress. I like the progress. It's just slow progress. Now, this side of our model's nose, don't go too dark with your pencil. I am just getting a little angle there. Better. This eye just needs, it still needs to be bigger. And I think what's going to wind up happening, we're an hour and a half into this live stream. What's going to wind up happening is when the live stream is done, I'm going to walk on my ankle to see how it feels. It's not bad. It's just a tweak. I didn't really twist it. It's just a light twist, tweak thing. I'm going to eat lunch, and then I'm going to come back to it. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Where have I heard that before? Yes. So when I come back to it, I'll probably see things that I'm not seeing right now. Like maybe this cheekbone needs to come out more. Maybe I need to add background tone over here to promote the cheekbone visually. I'm holding like my Cintiq pen. This is an old school, thinner Cintiq pen with a hard plastic nib, which I used to think was disgusting, and I've been using it for so long I'm actually used to it now. Yeah, that cheekbone is just pretty powerful, and I need to get that highlight. Um, let's do a little bit near the mouth that I've kind of neglected. So this little, so Carmela, you see this like little fold of skin over here, right there? That's a character trait. Normally I wouldn't put that in. I'm gonna put that in the model. And over here, normally I wouldn't do this, Carmela, but I think for me, I'm gonna do it so lightly. Because I think it's going to help me with the likeness factor. Lightly is the key word. And then this side is the side of the ball of the mouth muscles. Oh, yeah, I'm feeling my ankle now for sure because it's starting to ache, and that's not good. Just going out to the shed. You've got to be kidding me. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. And around the mouth, I normally don't go dark over here, but I'm gonna try to match the values. And in doing so, I'm hoping it's gonna help me get the likeness. Awesome, Carmela. Yeah, yeah. It's subtle. You just gotta be soft with it. So light pressure on the pencil. So as like Bob Ross used to say, two hairs and uh, uh, two hairs and a lot of air, for sure. For sure, for sure. Now I'm really losing it. I'm quoting Bob Ross. There you go. When I was in college, second year or first year of college, and I lived with my parents, I used to go down. My Italian grandmother would be making dinner at like 11 freaking a.m. Um, and I would come down around 12, eat lunch with my grandmother who didn't speak a word of English, and then I would watch Bob Ross at like 1:30 or 1. It would go from like 1 to 1 p.m. And I used to hate when that dude used to put that freaking tree in at the end. He's like, I'm going to put a tree in for that like happy squirrel. And I'm like, you just ruined it. Like you ruined it. And It's just a shame that that guy died way too young. Okay, a little value there. This just needs so much attention to detail, this portrait. And I need to try to find a way to show that this cheekbone is round. The cheeks are very round up top here, and then here the face gets very chiseled. It's a really cool look. So I'm trying to bring in a flavor of a linear shading. So I was talking about that yesterday in class. Soft shading versus linear shading. Um, Now, okay, I've been at this for an hour and 36 minutes, so I'm going to give my website a little plug, so you'll indulge me. So, for those of you who are thinking about, oh, I want to learn more from this guy, I think I'm getting something today. Take a peek at the link in the in the more show notes on YouTube. Click on the link, and learn a little bit about my website. You can go visit the website, but really, I can tell you, like in a nutshell, what my website is all about. What people don't need is more information. Like there's information, there's everything you need to know is taught on YouTube by all of these wonderful, gifted, talented teachers and students who share their journey. But what is not taught on YouTube is somebody who has experience, who actually looks at your artwork and says one or two sentences that completely change how you think about your artwork and could save you years and years of aggravation of trying to figure it out by yourself, even though you're watching all these videos on YouTube. Because people learn in three different ways. People learn from watching, people learn from listening, and people learn from doing. So that was a mistake stroke right there, but I'm going to leave it. So what I offer on the website is the weekly video critique where people upload their drawings that they do with me on Zoom or their own drawings. It could be anything. And I draw on top of it. And that's really the website. And then I have the Zoom class that goes live every single Tuesday. It's 15 weeks in the fall semester, 15 weeks in the spring semester, and then in the summer we do about 10 weeks. And then I have an entire catalog of like courses that I have had for years that are still very valuable. They come with PDFs, they come with photo reference. So that's my plug. If you're interested in learning more from me, and actually, if you don't have time to take a continue an education class, or you're too old, you don't want to do undergraduate, that's not your thing, or you have a full-time job, you can get feedback from a teacher who teaches at the college level and has been teaching online since 2008. And you can get some really good feedback. So that's my little plug. I critiquing backgrounds is one of my best skills, okay? Because when I teach my perspective backgrounds class in the animation department, it's like my favorite thing to do, like critiquing. It's difficult because I've got 20 students and I've got to critique in 20 individual pieces in about like an hour and 20 minutes. And that's very short. And usually I squeeze it into like an hour because we are have to do work in class. We draw digitally. So yes, I critique backgrounds, and yes, you could sign up for 3 months. No commitment. It's not a subscription. It's just 3 months, and then your membership is over, and you don't get billed again. People don't really, people get really leery of like subscription billing because they think it's going to be a scam or something like that. But it's not. It's just little old me. If you want to stop, you can just email me and I'll stop it. But let's say, John, you sign up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. With that particular membership, I've got to manually send you um, your login credentials. So if you sign up at like 2 a.m., I'll check my email first thing in the morning and then I'll send it to you. But if you sign up in the middle of the day, you still probably have to wait like like an hour for me to like check my email. And then I will manually send you those login credentials. Now, I basically every other membership it happens automatically. I just haven't had time to set up the automatic part. Um, so yeah, I think it's a good deal because you could upload your artwork every single week. The gallery is closed. The member critique gallery is closed to critiques on Monday. So on Monday, I close the gallery, and then that's when I film the video critiques. I post them on Monday. And then on Tuesday, we do the Zoom class, and I post the recorded Zoom class. This is just not working for me. The line on the chin is changing things up. Thank you, Carmela. Carmela has been a member for a while now, and Carmela's artwork has gotten so good. Carmela is specifically into portraits. Like, say, for instance, like Carmela's big thing was putting too much information over here on the lower eyelids, making the nostrils really black, and then taking this smile or frown line and making it a straight line and pressing down hard on their pencil. And so the teacher can say, don't do that once, and it doesn't really sink in. But if Carmela posts like almost every single week, and so like repetition is the mother of skill. So now Carmela doesn't do that anymore, really, because Carmela, I've said it so many times to Carmela, she's like, oh, please don't tell me that again. Yes. So like these, like, I've been teaching at the school now. It's 28 years at the School of Visual Arts. I'm getting old. So when you go out to the shed and you slip on wet wood, you twist your ankle. Of course you do. That doesn't happen when you're 20. So I totally understand learning. There are just, yes, ha 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 ha. There are just some students. I will have a student for 15 weeks straight in the fall, and I will say the same thing to the student every week, and it just doesn't, they don't get it. And like, but eventually, like, I'll keep saying it, and then it clicks for them maybe week 20. So as a teacher, you've got to stay persistent with the student, because some students, they just need that simple repetition, 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 repetition. And it's frustrating. It could be very frustrating for the student. For the teacher, like, the student starts to feel bad, and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, you're telling me, like, you told me that already, but I'm still not doing it. But what I've learned is that just some people need that persistent repetition of ideas and concepts taught to them over and over and over again, and then they finally get it. Yeah, I appreciate that, Carmela. Thank you so much for that. So, and then the other thing with learning and how people learn. So for me, what I've discovered is that I'm a slow, I learn slow. So like, just for an example, like in the past, like if I was reading a book, which I never do anymore, I kind of forgot how to read a book. I would read the book, and then I'm like, I get it, but let me buy the audiobook. And then I would buy the audiobook and I would listen to it. I'm like, okay, I think I got it. Oh, you know what? Let me just hammer this home. Let me buy the workbook. So I do it. So it was watching, listening, doing. Those are the hallmarks of learning for me. And so yeah, it's I think it's these lashes need to be thicker. I think it's very valuable for you to figure out your learning style. Like, what is your learning style? Do you learn better through listening? Like, there are some students in the classroom and I'm teaching, and like every week, like I look over at this student and they're staring at me like I've got like something on my face, and like they are listening so intently that it's scary. And so they learn through listening. And then like I've got other students who don't look at me ever. Like they're looking down at their computer screen, and I'm like, please don't let them be looking at something that has nothing to do with my class. And so they're probably drawing on the computer screen while I am talking, so they are learning through doing. Um, and then there's students who have to, I just have to repeat to them over and over and over again, um, about certain things. And it's not frustrating for me because I'm a slow learner, so I totally get it. But they get frustrated, yes, for sure. All right, we're getting there. It's a slow go. As who said it? Slow is smooth, Matthew. Matthew Clips. That's like a shooting sports joke. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Do you know what I'm talking about, Matthew Clips? I I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna lead you the wrong way, John. Most of the videos on my website are um, traditional pencil, for sure. But when I teach in the classroom, in the backgrounds perspective class, I only teach drawing digitally, on the Cintiq screen, and I critique. It's like every once in a while a student will do something traditionally in that class, but I could say it's like 99% digital artwork that I critique. And I might have a couple of digital courses on there, but I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to try to steer you the wrong way. I'd say like most of the courses are traditional, but I could draw on top of and digitally paint on top of your backgrounds, and that would be more informative than you watching a course for sure, because it's relevant to what you are working on and it pays immediate dividends. Slow is smooth, Matt. That's pretty funny. I don't know if Matthew Clips is still here. That's a pretty cool name. Okay, I still don't have the likeness, but we're trying. What time is it? Oh my God, I haven't stood up. My ankle is killing me. I definitely need to elevate it. I can't believe this happened to me this morning. It was supposed to be just like a peaceful Wednesday in July, and I have to slip on wet wood. Okay. Constantly getting tested. Constantly getting tested. So, what I'm going to do when I'm done with the live stream is, like I said, and you should do the same thing if you want to continue with this drawing, is I'm going to take a break. I'm going to eat some lunch. I'm going to reset my eyes, because resetting your eyes is a very, very valuable thing to do. Like, I never anymore sit this long. Um, I'm just I'm so frustrated that I'm going a little slow, so I just want to make this happen before the end of the live stream. So, but resetting your eyes is really important. And what I'm going to do, what I was getting at, is I'm going to do a lot of linear shading. Not soft tonal shading, but linear shading. And I'm going to be able to get a little bit closer with my head and my eyes to the actual drawing so I can see better and I can look at the reference closer. Because if I do that right now, for those of you who've been with me on YouTube, you know what I'm going to say. My head's going to get in the camera. And nobody needs to see like my bald, semi-bald head. So yeah, I'm pretty far away from the drawing. Now there's pros to being far away from the drawing. Definitely pros. But you sometimes when you're getting the details, you want to get a little closer. Just looking. Yeah, and I need to work on the ear. I need to work on everything. I'm probably going to work on this drawing today for a minimum of 2 more hours. I would like to try to go longer than 2 more hours. I would like to go 3 more hours just so I could calm down and just sit in the chair for a little while and look and observe and study. I think it's very good to do that. Sometimes my focus gets very scatterbrained, and my focus used to be so much better than what it is now. So doing like a 4 to 5 hour drawing, it works on your focus, and focus is a very important thing. There's a cast shadow right here that will add to the likeness, I hope. And this eye, yeah, it feels a little bit more open than what I have. I'm going to raise the eyelid ever so slightly. Okay, so I'm gonna end in about 5 minutes or so, and I hope you liked the live stream today. If you liked the live stream, consider giving the video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing to the channel. And also, if you want to find out when I go live, maybe click on the bell notification so you get notified when I go live. All of that would be really helpful. Yeah, okay, I'm seeing this. I never do this shading on the nose, but I think this is a big part of the likeness on this model. And this lip goes higher. Lots of work needed today on this. Lots more work. But I'm getting to the point now where what needs to happen is like little tiny nitpicky boring stuff, like shading the hair darker, doing these strands of hair, working on the ear, like all of that's kind of boring stuff versus just like starting. Um, so, like for instance, I'm gonna grab a sketch right here. It's on my wall. So this thing was John Singer Sargent Capri Girl drawing that I did maybe last year with the green color ace. I'm debating whether or not I want to go back into this with the brush and really finish it because it's all pixelated and it's a fun little drawing. It's tiny too, so maybe this isn't the one, but I have other drawings and of this model where I did not go into this model's face with the brush. And so what you are seeing is all the white dots from the valleys in the paper. Would anyone be interested in me not starting from scratch, but just finishing one that I've already worked on? But then again, I have to get close to the drawing for those finishing touches. I don't know. Let me know. How many people we got watching here? Okay. Thank you for joining me today. So when you're just going around the neck, throat area, just go with circular pencil strokes. We'll add a little bit more volume. Yeah. Yeah, that's I love John Singer Sargent for sure. So the Capri Girl's one of my favorite. I think there's one or two Capri Girl paintings. So I think John Singer Sargent at the time was either in Spain or Portugal. Maybe it was Italy. There was also the gondola. Stacy, thank you. There was also the gondola guy. And so I think Sargent would just see these people and pay them to model at the time. I think that's the Capri Girl. I'm so bad. I don't know where Capri is. Maybe somebody from Europe can tell me where Capri is. Do I add background tone here? I'm going to do it. Yeah, I don't like that outline. I want to go a little bit more tone next to tone. Capri of France. Okay. Thank you. A little collarbone. Now, I'm going to, everybody on YouTube who's watching, thank you so much. Let me, I think I'm done with this here today for this stream. I need to work on it after the stream to really finish it. And so, like right now, I believe that something is different with my YouTube video where YouTube is making in Italy near Naples. Okay, love it. That makes sense because I think at the same time, in the same period, all right, Vanderwolf, I so much appreciate you giving me that feedback. In Italy near Naples. Thank you, Carmela. So yeah, the gondola is in Venice. So I'm sure he was in more than one city in Italy. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to work on this today, and I'm going to nurse my ankle a little bit, and then I'm going to post it later today on my Instagram feed as well as posts here on YouTube. Because I really do think that YouTube is scrunching the portrait a little bit, which is making her feel wider and shorter. I'm not saying what I did here is perfect. Like I still need to do things to this portrait to work on it. But the video has just changed a little bit today. I don't know why that's happening because I'm also looking at the software that I use to do these live streams, and the video is not compressed on my computer screen. All right, cool. Thank you, Jean Pierre Bate. Right now I have this on my website, Stacy. In where it says member critiques, just go to live streams. Click on log in, click on member critiques, and to the right you should see 3 categories. You should probably see uncategorized, member critiques, and live streams, and you'll probably see it as soon as like you log in. If you want to buy this photo pack from graphitstudio.gumroad.com, you can do so. And the name of the pack, I have it here. Let me just go on my downloads. I'm almost done. I'm sorry. And the name of this photo pack of this model is, I bought it in February from Graphit Studio. It's Steel and Spirit Female Sword Pose References. Steel and Spirit Female Sword Pose References, Part 2. Okay. So, like, she has a sword going over her shoulder, which I'm not going to draw. But, yeah, it's a great reference. Now, it's for figure drawing. So, I cropped the photo because I figure drawing is, I love it. It's my thing, but YouTube doesn't like nudity, and then the video doesn't get promoted, and it's just a disaster. Yeah, thank you so much. All right, everybody, let me switch cameras here. And thank you so much for hanging with me today. And Kim, thank you so much for the super chat. That was so nice of you. I really appreciate that. And I'll see y'all next Wednesday. I'm really sticking to the portraits on the live streams. It's just fun and it's easy. So, yeah, I'll see you all next Wednesday, okay? Be sure to like the video, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all next week.